Man, I love that song. Dude, preacher screaming, singing, totally reminds me of CeeLo, one of my favorite vocalists on earth. I just love that style. It's just like out like you can't believe, you know? I love that. Anyway, funnily enough, hopping back into the Old Testament today and quickly caught an echo of the same thing as yesterday. So this is obviously a period of my life tracking the same principle. I've got to keep my eyes out for this, so I think this is funny. Ha ha ha, hilarious. Ecclesiastes 5. Ecclesiastes 5. Walk prudently when you go to the house of God, and draw near to hear rather than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they do evil. Do not be rash with your mouth, and let not your heart utter anything hastily before God. For God is in heaven, and you on earth. Therefore let your words be few. For a dream comes through much activity, and a fool's voice is known by his many words. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay what you have vowed. Better not to vow than to vow and not pay. Do not let your mouth cause your flesh to sin, nor say before the messenger of God that it was an error. Why should God be angry at your excuse and destroy the work of your hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there is also vanity. But fear God. A little intimidating indeed. Let your words be few. Now, again, as a creative type, it is very easy in one's, and I'm sure this is for anybody who has any desire to do anything, entrepreneurs and whimsical angels alike. It is very simple to like get real preoccupied in talking about your latest project, talking about your dream project, going, oh, this is really what I want to do, and then they could do this, and if this happened, this would be amazing. But I can't really do that now. But man, this is what I would do, and spending all this time yakking about all what you're gonna do's. Yoda would say there is no try, there is only do. And you know what? That was ripped. That philosophy is ripped self-same from the from biblical thinking. Speak less, do more. Watch the promises of your mind. Say nothing in foolishness. Vow nothing. You know, I feel like so many times, especially in fiction or whatever, they use the trope of, oh Lord, if you get me out of this, then I'll do this, this, and this. I don't know if I've done that much, because I'm super afraid of that. Let your word be your word. It's probably one of the most important principles, I think, in dealing with other human beings. If you make a promise of something, then you pretty much better do it. So no less, actually quite a bit more, if you're making a promise to God. Daggett, you better do it. The Lord is my deliverer. He has saved me. He has made covenant with me, with his people, and thus far has delivered me again and again in ways sometimes I don't even understand, and sometimes I'm impatient for him to like answer my prayers. But you know what? He answers his word much quicker than he answers my prayers, which lets me know sometimes, you know what? Some prayers I pray may not be answered, because you know what? Might be of no benefit to me whatsoever. But the thing I really like that was an echo of yesterday is, again, this like anti-procrastinator streak, this anti-frivolity streak, where it's like, set your vow, set your intention, pursue it to his glory. Ask for his help, man. I pray to God to bless me and prosper me every day, because I know, left to my own devices, my prosperity would be limited. Even if my prosperity was great by human eyes, you know, what does that benefit me? That's, you know, less than it's a paltry percentage. It's a 0.00001 and less percentage of my joy in this realm. You know what I mean? But my super desire is that all the joys of this earth, all the things I do pursue, would have echoes in eternity. you know? But it's so hard not to get preoccupied with dust-centered stuff, isn't it? Since this is what we dwell in now. But I love the simplicity of the command here. Do not be foolish, be wise. If you make a vow, pay it. Better to not vow than to vow and not pay. And it's funny, as so many like technological things have been falling apart, and like loss of equipment for me in the past like couple weeks, I've been like caught in this in between, like what's my next thing? What's gonna bear fruit that I might leap on it and be diligent and be what's the word? I don't know, trustworthy really with that which I've been left with. And it's funny that these things then popping up for me over and over again. How many vows to God have you made and not fulfilled? You know, how many things have laid fallow because, oh, I don't have the means to do this right now. I think quite often the Lord will send us on a mission, already equipped even though we do not know it, or He will send us on a mission. He'll place the desire in our heart, we'll make that vow, we'll make that promise. And if we go and do, we will find ourselves blessed and equipped for that which we did not know we were equipped for. And that's a huge part of faith, and something I'm certainly struggling with, because I, like, for much of my life had to struggle with this whole, like, ethos that, like, should have all my ducks in a row before I do anything. And then in certain, like, for example, getting married or whatever, I did not want to commit lifetime to anybody until I had some ducks in a row, so it would be a worthwhile partner in that respect. And then you realize from lessons of those who've gone before you, as well as practical thinking, that having all your ducks in a row is impossibility, really. I mean, as you look around, you look at you know, the wealthy and the famous and the people who have maybe all the things that you want, or you know, the shrewd in business, and then you examine their hearts and their lives, that everybody always has something not in a row with the rest of the ducks quacking. Made Artie laugh. Yes. I realized I had that at least to offer my wife, and I had like a pretty good listener's ear and a desire to help and grow with somebody. And so, like, again, this is toss aside some of your own vows sometimes. Vow not. You know, for me, from now on, if I'm gonna vow something, I'm gonna check in with God first. I'm trying to be super careful now that I have this like forced downtime of all these things failing, that I feel like there's no accident. So my next thing is to be real careful what I commit to. And then if I jump on it, to see it through to the end, and then commit to something else. You know what I mean? I feel like again, an echoing of this procrastinator's lament is often, not even that procrastinators are lazy, but we might lack a little focus. Hey, I'm going to do this thing. Sweet. Ooh, but I want to do this, this, and this too. Let me start these 4 things. Hey, I finished one. Oh, wait, I still got these 3. Oh, but I want to start this other new thing. Sweet, let me start to finish this. Okay, and then those 2 things shuffle down, and these and you end up always having something that gets pushed to the wayside. So maybe a little one at the time right now, Brendan, might be what the Lord's telling me. We'll see. It's only a couple days of his castigating me for being a procrastinator. So let's see what else he teaches me. Amen. Selah.